Hey, everybody, welcome to Badge Banter, where we share some incredible stories about the value of the photo ID badge and the impact that it makes on organizations and their ability to recognize and connect with people. I'm Lindsay Martin-Nez, your host of Badge Banter, and I am here with a very special guest today. So, welcome to Karim Hala from Entrust. Thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you,
So before we
Lindsay.
kind of dive in today, Kareem, why don't you do all of our listeners a favor? Tell us a little bit about Entrust, what y'all do, and what your role is there.
Sure. So my name is Karim Hala. I'm the director of sales at Entrust for the instant ID issuance business. I have been in this position and with Entrust for almost 12 years now. Entrust is one of the world leaders in digital security and payment and identity solutions. And it will be a pleasure to answer all your questions today, Lindsay.
Awesome. Well, Entrust has been a great partner of Badge Pass for years, and so we're always excited to connect with you guys and talk about something that both of our companies are very passionate about, which is the badge.
Yeah,
So we'll kick things off today, and we'll talk a little bit about the badge in pop culture. So
yeah,
anytime a story comes out where somebody's referencing photo ID badging or a
yeah,
credential of some sort in the news, as it relates to celebrities or something like that, it always catches everybody's eye in this industry
yeah,
because it's not very often that people talk about badges in a very positive way like that.
yeah,
But it was interesting because last month you and I corresponded after Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One racer who's on the Ferrari team now, I
yeah,
believe,
correct.
posted his new employee badge, basically his team member badge, if you will,
Yeah,
when he joined Ferrari on social media. And what was cool to me about that is it was so like real world, what real employees and team members do on a daily basis. Like think about your own friends and family members when they take a new job. What's one of the first
yeah,
things they do is they post their new employee badge
yeah,
online, and they're excited to share that they're a part of this team and a part of this family culture, whatever it might be. And so I was really excited when you shared that with me because I was like, man, look at this, look at the badge making such a positive impact. So can you kind of talk a little bit about your thoughts on the significance and importance of a badge outside of it just being like a physical token or something that you use to do things in an organization?
sure. So when I saw the Lewis Hamilton Ferrari badge, I was overjoyed because when you look at Formula One, uh, it's the pinnacle of motorsport. Everything is extremely high tech. I mean, the fastest racing cars are Formula One cars. The fastest drivers in the world are people like Lewis Hamilton, who is a seven-time world champion. And when I saw that even ultra high tech company like Ferrari still sees the value of issuing a physical badge to every single employee and above all to their driver. For me, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it validated what people like you and me do every single day, which is to remind people how highly relevant visual ID is, because at the end of the day, it's not only about mobile phone, because for sure people they like to use their mobile phone, but there has to be another form of identification, and visual ID badges are the best way to go, because I don't have to worry about my cell phone battery being dead. So again, for me, it was a highly relevant example, and and uh, and an even better thing, Lindsay, is that you see that in every single Formula One team. I mean, I can share with you that at Williams Racing, they are still issuing physical ID badges. At the Mercedes-AMG Formula One team, same thing. They have a new driver. His name is Kimi Antonelli, who is the one who has replaced Lewis Hamilton. And the first day that he got his ID badge, he posted it on social media, just like Carlos Sainz. So So if even again high-tech companies like Ferrari, Williams Racing, Mercedes, AMG, Formula One team, they use that, I think it sends a very good message.
It's interesting that you make the connection between like super high tech companies, modern, like no one would consider Formula One to be like not advanced from a technology perspective.
Correct.
And the constant argument in the security industry is about, you know, the technology behind mobile credentials versus physical badges, and for them to make the decision to still utilize physical badges in this way is an interesting conclusion and point that you bring up. I think it has a lot to do not just with the technology. I think that's where people get the badging story wrong, is they're always thinking of it as a utility. And so like I can do something with my card. But it carries so much more meaning. And to those organizations, like it creates a sense of community and belonging and pride. Like, hey,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. A sense
yeah,
of belonging. Look, I work for this company, and I am very proud to be associated with this company. It's like I mean, when I look at the cards that you issue at Badge Pass for your employees, these are very good looking cards, and it's the same thing with the Entrust uh, business card. These are business cards that when you give them to an end user, to a customer, when they look at it, they say, "Hey, I want my business cards to look like this." So I think that the sense of belonging, and if you are creative and smart with the design and with the visual security elements that you put on the card, you can end up with a very uh, attractive, uh, eye-catching business card.
oh yeah, absolutely. You are so right. Nothing beats a good-looking card design, in my opinion. So, your career has taken you a lot of really cool places, way
Yeah,
cooler than everywhere that I have necessarily been. And you've had the opportunity to really kind of see badging implementations all over the world.
correct.
So, can you speak to some of the coolest badging implementations and applications that you've seen used outside of the US?
Okay, so I started my career in 1999 in Argentina, where I lived there for 3 years. Um, I was obviously much younger because it was a long time ago, and over there I took part to many ID deals like driving license, like ID cards for the oil industry, and then I moved to the US in 2002 to Miami, and from there I worked in every single country of Latin America, the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and obviously I've been as, associated with many deals for multiple vertical markets. So when it comes to cool design, uh, we did in one of the Caribbean islands the national health card. It was a direct to card project, and they were printing a full color background with the printer edge to edge, and the design that they came up with was very good. And it was not an easy design because it had a lot of shades of blue, shades of green, but in the end it was a very good result. But also, what has given me a lot of satisfaction over the years is solving problems for customers. And at Entrust, Lindsay, when we went from the CD800 SD printers to the Halo type printers that Batch Pass sells today, uh, we made a big jump in solving some of the customers' issues. A very good one is is the following. In the Dominican Republic, the local partners that we have there has worked for many years in a project to issue the national health card for the elder people. So it's more than 3 million people. And before they were issuing the card with CD800 type printer, and the main issue that they were having was that the operators, they were eating print heads. Literally, what I mean by that is that when they were opening the printer to change the supplies, they were removing the ribbon cartridge, and then when they were putting it back, they were not careful at all. So they would often hit the print head with the ribbon cartridge, and as a result of that, they were consuming a lot of print heads every single year, and they were constantly complaining about that. But it had nothing to do with the printer. It was more about operator training and education. But when the signal printers were introduced, we added to the print head guard, and from day one, it was the end of all these issues. And the last time that I visited this customer, which was in December of 2023, they were extremely satisfied and extremely happy. So when you are able to do that, it gives you a lot of satisfaction. But what gives you also a lot of satisfaction is the fact that you are associated with AAA partners. It is just like us, Entrust, having a partner like Badge Pass, so who is on top of everything and who knows this business extremely well. And let's be honest with you, who is one of the world champions at promoting why ID badges are still highly relevant.
I know we do champion that message a lot. So I love that you speak to like how we solve problems, and I think that often, especially in the security industry, the badge is sometimes like seen as a problem from like access control companies, and they think of all the things that you just talked about, like issues with print heads or print quality and colors and the design and all that stuff, as like an obstacle they have to overcome. But there's so many companies who have so much experience in ID like you and I do, and our partners all over the country and all over the world that are such a good asset in helping organizations like figure out a badging solution that like meets all their needs and solves their problems. Like the color thing you mentioned, people who aren't in this and don't do identification every day might think like, oh, no big deal. I just want to print full color green and blue on the back of a card. And it turns out that's actually like very difficult, especially the color matching and getting the exact blue that you want, printing that on a PVC card. Like that is not easy. And there's all different types of printer technologies, obviously, as you and I know, that can help better accomplish that. But sitting down with the customer and figuring out what they want and then the right solution to meet their needs is how we solve problems.
And I also think that in this industry, it's all about setting up the right expectations of what they can expect from a dye sublimation ID card printer. I have a very good example for you. So when I started to work in the ID industry in Argentina, I was often told by some of the end users that they didn't understand why with a card printer they could not get the same quality that they would get with a card printed in offset. So I asked them, what do you mean by offset? And one of the persons that I knew took me to a company that had an offset press, and I saw the whole process with the different color station, and then with the oven where you put all the layers of the card and you make the sandwich, and then you put a lot of heat and the pressure and you get the physical card. I said, thank you very much. This was an eye-opening experience, but what you have to understand is that you get a compact ID card printer, like this, and you expect the same result as a digital press that costs well over $300,000. So, so, so I told him it's all about, for people like me, setting up the right expectation. And what I can tell you is that in a direct-to-card H2H printer, for sure you're gonna get a good print quality, but you cannot expect to have the same quality as a card printed with $300,000 digital press.
You're absolutely right. It's all about setting expectations. I like that. That's a good note to end on for sure, Karim. So great
For
point.
sure.
All right, so we're going to do a really fun new segment for this season. So this segment is called Badge Blitz, and I'm really excited about it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 60 seconds, and I will hit you with some rapid-fire questions.
Sure.
I did not give you these questions in advance, as you know,
For
so
sure.
these are off the cuff. I want you to go with your gut answers and answer in no more than one sentence to each of these questions. I promise these are not like trick questions or anything like that. They're meant to be fun. So I've got an old school manual timer here. And we are going to old school. I like it. Don't worry, it'll buzz when our minute is up. So we're gonna go and let's see what you got.
Okay.
All right. Number one, what is your biggest workplace pet peeve?
My biggest workplace what?
Pet peeve. Like what bugs you, annoys you at the workplace?
It's to see an empty workplace.
Nobody there. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. If you didn't work in the identification industry, what job would you have?
I would probably work in the Navy.
Okay. What is one design element or security feature that you think should be mandatory on every ID badge?
Luster effect.
What was that?
Luster effect.
That is good looking. You're right from a security perspective. If you had to give a TED Talk tomorrow, what topic would you choose to talk about?
The relevance of ID badges.
The relevance of ID badges. Nice. All right. That's all my questions for today.
That's it?
That was 60 seconds. That's all I could get. All right. I will hit you with one more. So from an ID accessory perspective, are you a lanyard, badge reel, or clip guy?
Lanyard.
Me too.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because you can advertise on the lanyard. You can further vehicle the image of your company, and there are a lot of very creative and very good looking and very eye catching lanyards. So for me, it has more value than a badge holder with a clip or a badge reel. A badge reel, it is practical, but it doesn't have the same value as a lanyard.
No, I'm with you on this. I support your lanyard decision. I also think it's because I believe that we should utilize badges to remember people's names and use their names all the time. And it's way less awkward to look at somebody's name on their badge than it is when it's on their leg.
It's true.
It's a little awkward to try to put your name down there.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, this was fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me, Lindsay. And each time that you need me to, just like you, advocate for why it is stupid good to still use ID badges, be my guest. I will answer the call every single time. And needless to say that we are extremely happy to be associated with such a talented company and with such a talented leader.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's super sweet of you to say. And thank you so much for being here, Karim. And we hope you will join us next time as we take you beyond the badge.